All right, welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving straight into the absolute bedrock of our language, nouns. I mean, think about it. Whether we're talking, reading, or just having a thought to ourselves, we're literally using them nonstop. But how often do we actually pause and look at how they're categorized? Well, today we're going to break down these grammar fundamentals and take a really close look at nouns and their 5 distinct kinds.
Here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll officially meet the noun. Then, we'll compare specifics versus the basics, explore the power in numbers, dive into the physical world, and finally, step into the invisible world.
So, this whiteboard right here from our source material, this is basically our roadmap for today. We're going to squeeze out every single drop of grammar wisdom it has to offer, mapping out not just what a noun is, but its 5 very distinct branches.
Okay, part 1. Meet the noun, the ultimate label.
So, looking at our baseline definition, it says, a noun is simply the name of a person, place, or thing. Honestly, it sounds incredibly simple, right? But realistically, a noun is the ultimate label we slap onto absolutely everything around us. Like, without these labels, our ability to identify or even just share our reality with each other completely falls apart. And this source gives us a really fantastic mix of these labels right out of the gate. We've got Quaid-e-Azam, city, Lahore, eagle, table, and Quran Majid. Notice the crazy variety here. I mean, they range from general, everyday things, like an eagle flying around or the table you're probably sitting at right now, all the way to highly specific, unique identities, like the historical figure Quaid-e-Azam. But the one common thread? They are all just names for things that exist.
Moving on to part 2, specifics versus the basics, proper versus common. Let's tackle the common noun first. The definition we've got is the name of a common person, place, or thing. Basically, these act as our everyday, broad categories. They don't pinpoint one specific item, right? It's more about the type of item. So, when you say you're heading to a city, reading a book, or living in a country, you're speaking in these broad, basic terms.
And then, of course, we have the flip side. A proper noun, as the material states, is used for only a particular person or place. Proper nouns are those highly specific, totally unique identities we pull out of the crowd. They're the individual labels we assign to items inside those broad categories we just talked about. And yeah, they almost always demand a capital letter just to show off their unique importance.
This comparison brilliantly illustrates that exact contrast. The general city levels up to become the highly specific Lahore. The everyday book becomes the revered Holy Quran. And the broad concept of a country becomes the specific nation of Pakistan. It's a perfect showcase of how language lets us zoom in from the super basic right down to the hyper-specific.
All right, part 3. Power in numbers, collective nouns.
So what happens when we group a bunch of these labels together? We get a collective noun. The source defines it as a group or collection of similar individuals considered one complete whole. Think of this as our group lens. It's when we take a collection of individual parts, multiple people, animals, whatever, and treat the whole shebang as a single, unified grammatical entity. Just look at these examples: an army, a group of students, or a bunch of flowers. An army obviously isn't just one soldier, right? It's made up of many. A bunch isn't one single flower, it's a whole handful. Yet we say things like the army is marching, treating that plural group as a single noun. It perfectly captures this really cool concept of unifying the multiple into the singular. Next up, part 4, the physical world, material nouns. Now we're shifting our focus to the literal stuff that things are made of. A material noun, as defined here, denotes the matter or substance of which things are made. So rather than labeling the finished, constructed object itself, this category goes a layer deeper, you know? It's labeling the actual, physical, raw materials and substances that make up our physical reality. The source lists some highly tangible substances to show this, things like the flesh of sheep, fish, and rice. Now, these aren't constructed man-made objects like a table or a smartphone. They're bulk matter. They're the biological or physical materials that we actually consume or use to build other things. Basically, if you can weigh it on a scale or touch it with your hands, it's serving as a fundamental material noun.
And finally, part 5. The invisible world, abstract nouns.
I actually really love this definition. It says an abstract noun denotes some quality, state, or action apart from anything possessing the quality. The absolute crucial takeaway here is that these are labels for things we physically cannot touch, see, or weigh.
No way. They exist entirely in our minds. They are completely indivisible ideas, concepts, and feelings, but we still desperately need to give them a name so we can actually talk about them.
The whiteboard breaks this massive abstraction down into 3 super helpful subcategories. First, we have quality, with examples like color and height. Like, you can see a red apple, sure, but the idea of color itself, that's an abstract concept. Next is state, which covers things like youth and happiness. You absolutely feel happiness, you live through your youth, but you can't go put them in a physical box. And lastly, we've got action, like choice or flight. The physical movement of flying is one thing, but the overarching concept of the action, that's a noun in its own right.
All right, to wrap up this explainer, I've got a challenge for you. It is one thing to see all this mapped out, but language is alive and it's literally all around us. So, look around whatever room you are in right now. Can you identify exactly one proper, common, collective, material, and abstract noun? Seriously, try applying these 5 grammatical lenses to your immediate surroundings today. I guarantee you, once you start looking for it, you're going to see the invisible machinery of language absolutely everywhere.